So what's happening today?
Do a back workout with the crew, and then throw some shots up, hit the pool workout, stretch, eat. That's it. Huh? Who's Giovonne Woods?
Giovonne Woods.
Gio's a good person. He's very hard on you if he needs to be.
I've known Gio since he was like in 8th grade, you know what I mean? So, you know, to use one word, I mean, I could use one word on the court, you know what I mean? He got a heart of a lion, you know what I mean? He gets after it.
To me, he's like a big brother. Always been looking out for me. Even when I really didn't know who he was always kind of looking out for me, looking over me, even when he was gone overseas hooping.
Gio is a guy that I've known now for the last 15 plus years. He's a hard worker, dedicated to his craft, a guy who's a family man and someone who loves to give back to kids.
But to really understand Gio, you have to know where he comes from.
When I first started competitively playing, it was probably, I think, 8 or 9. But I mean, I was, my parents played basketball, so I was always in the gym, always around it. But when I was on my first team, I think I was 8 or 9.
With his dad and his mom both playing basketball in Germany and him getting to see it, Gio naturally gravitated towards the game and fell in love with it. But it wasn't just his parents that drove him to excel in the game. It also came from somewhere else.
Man, yeah, my sister, she's 5 years older than me, so she was, of course, more advanced, and, she made me cry one time, man. We was in our garage, and she was dribbling the ball, and she's trying to teach me stuff, and she could put the ball through her legs, and I couldn't. And so, I mean, she made me cry. Like, I was upset because I couldn't do it, and she could. But, that was it was a learning experience. But, yeah, my sister was tough. If she didn't have, like, all these knee injuries and things like that, like, I think she could have made it really far. I mean, she still played at a 4-year and, graduated and played. But if she wasn't injury prone, man, it would have been a different story.
With his sister already graduated from high school after playing ball, Gio got to know who the boys' coach was. And before he was even in high school, he introduced himself and became a part of the team.
He actually came up and he said, Coach Spivey, I'm going to be your next best player, but I'm only in the 8th grade, so I was wondering if I could be your manager for your varsity basketball team.
And when the 99-2000 season came around, with only being an 8th grader, Gio became a part of the team.
Gio, I mean, he pretty much thought that he could play on varsity in 8th grade. So you don't get too many young kids like that who they have that much confidence that they can come in and play right away, even when they're in junior high.
When I was a senior at River Ridge, he was actually our ball boy, and he used to come around a lot, and he was just this scrawny kid that just loved to be around hoops. And I just remember him always I want to be like just like you guys. I want to do what you guys did. When I come in, I'm going to carry that torch.
When his time came, he was more than ready. And when he made varsity true to his character, he gave it everything he got, which made individual moments hard to pick from.
Man, there's multiple moments, to be honest. I mean, I don't really think there's just one moment where he, went off for like 50 points or anything like that. But I think the biggest thing, moment-wise, is that he just felt like he belonged. It was comfortable for him. So, as soon as he started, playing for us at River Ridge, it was like I belong here. So his whole experience was really the moment, if that makes sense.
He did more than his fair share, of that, and he's legendary in the area, in my opinion.
With his high school coach being a former college player, it was only natural that the competitive nature between them flourished.
How much trash talk went down between me and Coach Spivey?
Very little, because they couldn't beat me. So, I mean, you can talk as much as you want, but at the end of the day, you're not beating me. So I would say very little. It started out a lot, but then once you check the ball up, then it was like crickets up in there. You just really couldn't hear anything. And I'm sure all my former players know, if they're watching this, or if they will watch this, or if they're listening to it, you can vouch for that. And if you can't, we can check ball up right now, and we can still go at it.
My junior year, it was a little different. It's a little different. I felt like I had a good summer going into my junior year, and I was getting better. I got taller, and so at that point it was like, shoot, I want to play him one-on-one. Like, we'll stay after practice sometimes and play one-on-one, or, before practice, if he get there early, we'll try to put some shots up and compete together. But, what he did for me at a young age, it definitely helped me now, where I'm at now, as far as being a competitor, being able to talk trash and back it up, so it was, I couldn't ask for a better coach, through high school.
Before a workout at his old college, Gio goes on a small walk around the gym. What most people think is a smooth college road actually had lots of bumps in it.
It's at Evergreen State College in Olympia. This is where I signed my freshman year in college. And in high school, it was cool, man. Nice little facilities, but oh yeah, I used to go down here my freshman year. We had a cool little team, but I ended up leaving after my freshman year to go to a national junior college in San Jose, and then went to Montana, and then went to Central right after that. So I actually walked on at Central. There's a lot of things people don't understand. Like, I was a walk-on at Central and then earned a scholarship just because I was so late going to school there. So when I redshirted, I earned a scholarship, and then my last 2 years I was a scholarship player. So that's the one thing that a lot of people don't know, is that I was a walk-on.
Even after getting on at Central, Gio still ran into hard times on the court. He reached out to Alan for some advice that would make a world of difference to him.
It was one thing that I used to tell him all the time, even when he was at Central and he wasn't playing as much as he really wanted to play. And he's thinking about transferring.
My junior year, senior year come around, and they asked me to sacrifice my scoring for the team and be the sixth man off the bench. Come in, defend the best player, score when I can, get guys open, things like that. And every guard especially wants to score.
I said, no, you need to stick it out, and this is what's going to define you as a man. Trying times, adversity, and what doesn't break you only makes you stronger. And if you quit now, it's going to be easy. It's going to be really easy for you to quit later on when times get tough.
It takes a bigger man to sacrifice your abilities for the team. So that taught me a lot, and that's kind of how I've grown to be the player that I am today.
After his college career was over, there was no question that he wanted more.
My parents are awesome. They saw that I set a goal early in life that I wanted to play in the NBA. What kid who plays basketball doesn't say they want to play in the NBA? They said that we're going to do everything we can to help you achieve your goal. So, my dad put aside some money, sent me to some camps. I went to a D-League camp my rookie year in Los Angeles. Didn't make it, which is, it is what it is. And then I actually I didn't play my rookie year. I moved to Michigan and coached with my dad at a high school and just continued to train. And then the next spring, we went to Las Vegas, North Carolina, and I think LA again, and worked out for some Euro camps, some European teams, and I ended up getting like 4 or 5 offers to choose from, and that's when I ended up going to Spain my rookie year. So, and then the same thing happened the next season, the next spring and summer. Went to some more camps, signed in Austria, and then after that, the ball just kept rolling. I started getting my name out. People started knowing. I had a couple of agents that were helping me, and that's kind of how I turned into being 7 years overseas.
What started out as a simple dream of playing basketball professionally was now true. And the old well-known phrase of like father, like son was now also a reality. Gio is in the year 7 of his career. And while the years may change, his work ethic and drive to be better doesn't.
Gio's work ethic is like a no days off type of guy. He gets after it every day. Doesn't matter what time. Either we're in the gym, doing plyometrics, weight room, on the track, whatever it is, whatever we have to do it.
Right now, we're headed to workout number 1 over at Timberline High School in Lacey with one of my best friends, Alan Thomas, the head coach over there, and my trainer Brian. I've been knowing Brian Hooper since I was probably 10, 11 years old. He graduated high school with my sister. He was one of the guys that I always looked up to when I was younger, watching him play at River Ridge. And, he's always been in my corner, silently. He's never had to project it out there. He's always give me a text or a call every once in a while, make sure I'm good. And it really kind of came into play the last 2 summers when he was like, man, look, I'm on your side. Whatever you need from me, don't worry about it. I got you. And so last summer, we was in and out because my wife was pregnant and I was doing a lot of different things. But this summer, we really dialed into it. I think we went on a 6 or 7 week training every day. And so this summer was probably my best summer of training. And I give all that, all the thanks to Brian because he's been in my corner and he's been pushing me to get better every day this summer.
Going into every workout, he tells himself, I need to be better than yesterday. But during workouts, he brings along the next generation of talent with him.
I'm very, very humbled that he took his time out and gave back to our program. It's not an easy thing to do, to dedicate yourself 3 and 4 hours a day with guys, and he gives some guys tough love, but a lot of them, they need it, and so I think he does a great job of being a realist, but also being a great mentor to them and showing them every aspect of not just basketball, but just life in general.
Helping the next generation is something he loves. There have been many that he brings to his summer workouts, but the 2 main ones are Donovan Dorsey and Eric Stevenson.
On and off the court, G's helped me on the court, just knowing how to push myself and just to get better every day, to strive to be better every day. Off the court, he's shown me how to become a better man and just showing how this basketball thing all ties into just being a good person.
He's straight up. He won't play around. He'll tell you how it needs to be told. He's 100%. He doesn't lie. He doesn't BS. He doesn't just fake on you. He's there for you, and he just gets the job done.
Where there is training, there is competition. But how much trash talk actually happens?
A lot, actually, a whole lot. We talk trash to each other every day, either over the phone, texting, or in person. I mean, that's just who we are. Very competitive people. So if somebody says something to us, we got to go right back at them.
One thing we all want to know is,
Who talks the most?
Eric.
Eric Stevenson talks the most trash.
Oh, I definitely talk more trash.
it's not done out of hate, but it's out of camaraderie. They push one another to be better. They have become a family. And being Gio, as a wife and 3 kids, balancing family and training is not something easily overlooked.
I think that, that's probably one of the things that he doesn't really get a lot of credit for is being able to balance being an athlete and being a good father. And I think that he does a great job of, finding time to settle down from basketball and working out and staying on top of his game and, taking time with his family, going out on walks, taking out to picnics, and just doing a lot of, downtime with the family.
I respect him a lot for it because I can see how hard it is. Your wife's telling you, you got to be home with the kids, but you also got to get the workouts in, and you got to take your kids places. You got to play with them. Like, you got to still be a father and still try to balance working out and still try to balance out grind team and staying within us. And man, it's tough. I respect him a lot for it.
I think that's kept him grounded throughout the whole process.
With Gio having 3 kids of his own, it's no surprise to see his oldest falling in love with the game he did when he was her age. And to hear her tell her dad she wants to be like him, it definitely hit him right in his heart.
Can't even lie, I had some tears come out because, my dad told me this too. He said, when you have kids and you pass on, what you're doing to them, it's going to be a whole different feeling, because, some you don't want to force it on your kids either, I never said I wanted to force basketball, and my parents never did that to me, especially girls, so when my daughter told me that she wanted to play basketball, I was like, let's do it, so when she went to her first practice, she had her Jordans on, she had her shirt tucked in, had her headband on, said, Daddy, I want to play like you, I want to be like you. I was like, I was speechless, and there's no better feeling to see your child take after what you've been doing your whole life.
There's no denying how much Gio loves his kids, but there's another person who he not only loves, but he has a huge amount of respect for, and is completely forever grateful for all she has done to support him, while loving him at the same time.
My family means everything to me, especially my wife, because, since 2004, since we've been together, she always knew, that basketball is what I wanted to do, So when I went to Evergreen, she moved in with me. When I went to California, she moved with me. Montana, she moved with me. Central, same thing, When I went overseas and she got pregnant, she was like, I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do. Every single year, same thing. I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do. You'll stop playing when you're ready to stop playing. And to have that support from her means the world, because I could have easily just stopped and said, you know what, she don't want me to play anymore, or whatever the case may be. Nah, she's always been supportive of me, whether it's, not trying to say something at certain times or saying something at certain times, but, that's what marriage is about. It's about compromise and sacrifice, and, she's definitely done that for me, so I love her to death for that.
With 7 years of playing pro overseas, and with countless amounts of games played in his lifetime, at every level of the sport, the passion he has for the game is still as strong as ever. And for those that he has worked with, he has definitely made a lasting impression.
True story. Hey.
I'll just thank him and tell him I appreciate him for all the things he's done for me. When it comes to expanding my recruitment, helped me out with my workouts, giving me advice about being a young man and about being a basketball player. I'd tell him good luck to wherever he's going, and then I'll tell him I see him when he gets back.
The last thing I want him to know is that, you know, your work doesn't go unnoticed, and I really appreciate everything, not only that you've done for me, but that you've done for Coach Thomas, you yourself, and just everybody, because he's never a negative person. He's going to tell you, he's not always going to tell you what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear, but it's never negative, if that makes sense. And I just want to let him know that I appreciate everything he does for me.
With him still being in contact with his coach and mentor, Chris Spivey, there are still words of advice from a person that loved to coach him.
Man, I would say number one is continue to trust God. I would say, don't forget why you're doing it. You know what I mean? Make every second count. In times where you're away from your family, when adversity hits, just remember why you're doing it. And the biggest thing is that we all want him to be successful. We all care about him out here. We're all proud of him, and we just want him to continue to, put on for 360, put on for Lacey, put on for the state of Washington, put on for River Ridge, whoever he represents or represented on this journey. We just want you to do well and make us proud, and he has. So just continue to do that. But always, number one, just make sure you put God first, and be thankful, be humble, and appreciate where you're at.
With all good things that begin, at some point it must come to an end. And while Gio has no plans on stopping anytime soon, he knows the end of his career is in his future. While it may be in his future, basketball will always remain a part of his life.
I can feel it coming, but I feel like I still have a good 3-4 more years left in me to reach the highest level that I can get to, because I feel like I haven't peaked out yet. I feel like I can compete with EuroLeague teams and things like that. So I'm actually working my way back into getting to that point. So when I reach that, if I play 1 year in a big time organization, doesn't matter how much money it is, that I can say, you know what, I've achieved what I set out to do. So, but it's coming though. I can feel it. I can feel it coming. I've spent 20 some odd years on just playing basketball, just going to the gym. So when I get to that point where I'm like, man, I ain't got a job to play basketball this year, I don't need to go to the gym and work out every day to get ready for something. It'll be tough, but I'm definitely gonna get back to the game some way. I'm not gonna step away from basketball for good. I'm gonna be in it somehow, some way.
Man, he's garbage. Don't listen to him.
You don't want.
I mean, just keeping it real. I see you laughing in the background, but hey, come on. You're either a lion or you're the zebra. So I was the lion. You know what I mean? You just gotta have that. And my little young fella coming up, the young Chris Spivey, he's gonna be even more ferocious. But this ain't about us, this is about Gio.
To bring another side out of him, to make him play harder and things like that, but sometimes he's doing it because he's an asshole sometimes.